Well, good morning, folks. Pastor Rocky Branch, 234 days today. Well, we had trouble with the phone yesterday. I'm telling you, just had all kinds of problems getting things posted, and so finally got it posted late last night. Well, yeah, kind of late last night, but anyway, got it done, and thank you for your prayers and support. Technology, is a weird thing. I mean, when I was in seminary, we had no cell phones, we had no computers. So we did our work on a typewriter, and there were no cell phones anywhere as far as the public could get a hold of. Now, they had some, obviously, in the government and all that other stuff, but not for the public. So it was quite a chore in those days, but we didn't know it. We didn't know any different. So now it's quite a chore if you don't have it. So we've gotten spoiled by that. Our phones used to be, our first phones, you might remember, the Dick Tracy phone, the big white phone, I had that one. The bag phone, I had that one. And right on down through the line, I'm telling you, it's been an amazing thing for this phone technology and these recorders and all this sort of stuff that's going on. So it's sort of an amazing thing how that God has given man the wisdom to do various things, and sometimes it's worked out for the better and sometimes for the worse. And I'm not so sure that the phones haven't been for the worse, even though it gets us, places like this, for example, and being able to call people in the time of need. I was wondering maybe if you ever have been in a situation where you have done the right thing and you were persecuted for it. I mean, somebody maybe ostracized you, wouldn't talk, wouldn't speak, whatever, and maybe just cut you plumb out of the whole conversation or community. I mean, just cut you out. I mean, when you stand for the Lord and other people don't, then some of them they're ruthless. I mean, they won't even talk to you, won't even look at you. And so when that happens to us, we feel bad because we're trying to do the right thing, but people tend to obviously have their own opinion, and they keep that, and it makes them comfortable. But serving the Lord is a commitment. It's not necessarily a comfort. It is a commitment. Sometimes it gets a little rough, but you still got to do the right thing because it is the right thing. That's why we do it. So Jeremiah talked to us a little bit about this. He shared with us a little bit in the 15th chapter about how that he had stood for the Lord, and he did. He was at a very difficult time. I mean, Jeremiah was a weeping prophet, and rightfully so. I mean, he had a very difficult ministry, challenging time. I mean, a lot going on in his life. He was persecuted. The king at that time, put him in jail. It was just a hard time. And so Jeremiah is reminding us of God's faithfulness. Let me read you a verse, just one verse, but I think it's important to draw, or maybe two verses, but it's certainly one for sure. Verse 15 of Jeremiah 15. Listen to this. O Lord, remember me. I love that. Lord, will you remember me? Isn't that a wonderful thing to think about today? Now, that may not be too wonderful if you're not doing right, but if you're doing right and you're really trying and you're really locked in and you really want to do God's will, it's a wonderful thing to say, oh, Lord, remember me. I love that. And then he says, and visit me. Not only remember me, but come and see me. That's an important thing for us because God is our lighthouse. He is our rock of protection. He helps us in the time of need. But he also responds to our request. And here Jeremiah is saying, Lord, I know that you know. Will you remember me and will you visit me? It's because sometimes, especially in Jeremiah's case, but in sometimes, you might feel like the Lord's a million miles away from you. But he's not, but you might feel that way because circumstance, situation, whatever it may be. But God is ever faithful and God is ever present. But sometimes we feel like, man, he's taking a vacation. I don't know where he got to because I can't feel him. I don't even see him. I don't see nothing. I don't know where he is. But Jeremiah said, remember me and visit me. Now listen to this verse 15. He says, and revenge me of my persecutors. Now, Jeremiah had a rough time. And maybe you are going through a rough time. Maybe there might be something in your life right now that you're dealing with that you haven't told a soul about, nobody at all. But you're dealing with it. And it's a challenge to you. And you're wondering, Lord, where are you? And you've tried to do the right thing. And you're trying to go forward. And you're saying, Lord, would you remember me? Would you visit me? Would you redeem me from my persecutors? You know, people come against God's children in various ways. And sometimes they don't even know they're doing it because they're operating under the enemy power. I mean, he's got them so snowed. The devil's got them so overwhelmed, so discombobulated that they just work and don't even know that they're doing wrong. Many people in that situation. So he just said, remember me, visit me, and revenge me of my persecutors. Now listen to what he says next in the 15th verse. It's very good. Take me not away in thy long suffering. In other words, he's asking, Lord, endure with me. Now, obviously, God's going to do that, but sometimes you don't feel like that's the case. Sometimes you feel like maybe that God took a vacation, didn't leave a forwarding address, and he's saying, Lord, endure with me with your long suffering. You see, when you go through stuff, it's a challenge. And when you go through stuff that you can't control, and especially when you're innocent, oh my, how painful is that when people come against you and things don't work out and people talk about you? How painful is that? And he says, Lord, would you not leave me with your long suffering? Because I'll tell you, in serving the Lord in this modern day, if you're going to be committed to him, you feel by yourself sometimes. You feel by yourself sometimes, and you have to watch out. He goes on to say in this 15th verse, he says, know that for thy sake I have suffered rebuke. Now, God knows that already. But Jeremiah was able to say, now, Lord, you know. Now, I love this part. You know that I've stood for you. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't it wonderful that you can say to the Lord, and he knows it. He knows it. He knows that you've stood for him if you've stood for him. And that's what Jeremiah says. You know that I've been there. You know that I've stood for you. You know that I haven't moved an inch. Even though I've been persecuted, you know that I've stood for you and I'm not going to change. Lord, help me. Boy, what a blessed thing to think about today on Saturday. Lord, help me. Thank God he will. Amen. I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll be serving breakfast here in a few hours and bring you the start of the day of 2:34. God bless you.